G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are finishing up the Zeta Toys Combaticons and forming Armageddon, aka Bruticus. Now, let me start by saying that this has been a bit of a bumpy ride because I discovered something after completing the Onslaught video that was a bit sort of threw me through a hoop. So if I just sort of make a bit of room, because what I was going to do was I was going to put things together and do the articulation as I was going. So we have here, which is the torso. So it is a parts former. And honestly, I really do hope for Fans Toys Devastator to be the same way. Now, I don't know what these are for, and that one's sort of stuck a bit further in, but I'll get that in a minute. These do come out, but I don't know what for. All right, so why am I showing the torso already? Why am I not combining with the Combaticons? So mine, I don't know how I'm going to show this. I'll put the light on, if I can get it. My hips are busted on both sides. So when I said that, I mentioned that he took a fall, that Vortex and Brawl got a bit of damage. I didn't realize my hips broke. Now I have tried to mend this one. But in saying that, I don't think I want to put too much stress onto this hip, and I'll show you how well they work at the moment. But honestly, the articulation in this is only off because it's my figure. You will not have this problem unless yours takes a dive too. And I did some maintenance on this. I didn't do it on this side. But this is part of the reason why I said back in the Terminator Resistance Infiltration mode that I was worried about not finishing my series. So this is what brought it on. So if I move this one, which hasn't been modified, there's no ratchet. It's friction. Front and back works fine, but you hear a squeak. There's no ratchet. This has the ratchet back on it, but you can hear it slide. And I don't know if I can show it. See there? That's snapped, and in there snapped. So there is a screw that goes through here, and there are two screws here that hold that in place. So what I did, and I tried with one, but considering how much effort it took and everything, I decided not to do it again. So I replaced the screw that was in the hip with one of these, and I also put a washer on. The amount of force I needed to actually get the spring compressed was ridiculous. So I haven't touched this one. I've modified this one. And while yes, the ratchet will work, I would prefer to just use that as a stand. So he's not going to be doing any A stancing. So I will do, like I said, I was going to put the legs on, but I'm going to do it this way for the joints, and we'll go from there. So leg come out that far, and of course, swindle will be coming off there. You do have waist swivel, which obviously mine does not sound really good. Leg goes up that far. Leg goes back that far. You do have your side skirts, which can move out of the way and slide around if that's what you need to do. Now, there's one thing I do love about this figure, and their Superion does it. You can just make out there's a slider here. So you can use that to fix your balance. It does move easily. It's all friction, but you can't, once you've got all the weight on top, you can just gently slide back and forwards and find where your center of balance is. So there we go. So roughly find where the center is, get this in the way. Now, this is roughly how it comes. This should be up here, but you basically untab that, come up here, pull this out, fold that out, pull this out, fold that out, fold these out. Obviously, it does not come with the Decepticon logo, and I've realized I've chipped part of it off, so I might have to see if I can get to find another one. I'll see. That could have also been from the fall, and I've never noticed it. So then you pop this out, and there is that. Let's start with Onslaught and get him into place. So we take Onslaught, and a step that I forgot to mention in his video, these fold out. This is becoming his backpack. So what you want to do is lay that flat, get out of the way. You have this groove that his crutch will slide onto, like so. That will all sort of line up the front. Now you have these 3 pegs. One's going to go up here, one's going to go in here, and one's going to go in here. So you have this port and this port. It is fiddly and has some clearance issues, but it is doable. And I tell you what, you'd probably be better off getting that actually properly in place in the front of the torso. So that way you only have to worry about 2. So we'll get that up. I'll slide that back in, and hopefully I should be able to get it just underneath those shoulders there. There we go, there's 1. There's 2. Come over here. Get that tab back in, tab that in, bring that down, and the torso's almost done. It's going to be fun with all these things. I was going to put some nail polish on these, but I didn't. These are going to peg into here. Now, it doesn't sit perfectly flush, and they probably will pop back out again, so just be aware of that. I don't think I've got my chest all the way in. There we go. Give it a bit of a press. All right, so just do your best to line these up. The amount of times these are popped out on me, I've lost count. So there is the torso in torso mode. All right, we'll do the legs next. So we'll do Brawl, and I will show you why. I'll drop the camera a little bit. Why these were a pain. So we're going to attach the legs first, and Brawl faces this way. You have these 3 slits where all these have to line up to. Once you get it in, they are almost impossible to get back out. And it does require quite a bit of force. So I'll make sure I've got the right leg first. Nope, that's Swindles. That's right. So just line things up, because you're going to have to put quite a bit of force into sliding things in place. And I hope I don't pop the tracks. So you go in there, you go in there. Where are you? Something isn't quite lining up properly. I'm wondering if my feet aren't collapsed enough. There we go. I think I thought I had one. There's no real easy way to do this. It's just a matter of getting things where they need to go. Why are you sliding in? I'm probably too far down. But yeah, it's more fiddly trying to get these off, let alone get them in place. Try and at least get one of them. Because once it's in place, it's secure. Where you line up. So I don't think it's the feet. The feet shouldn't be a problem. It's just a matter of finding that initial line up point. So I don't think I can get his feet collapsed any further. Unless I need to get the heels, the feet in first. Oh yeah, that makes it a bit cleaner. So there you go. I put the feet around the wrong way. So that's a lot more flat now. Alright, here we go. Try again. Yep, there we go. And whoop, I'm popping tracks. Whoop, try to get that all back on there without getting in there and just press. I think I've got it in there. Looks like I've got it all in there. Yep. Yeah, he's not coming out now. He's staying put. Alright, so that is Brawl. Then we have Swindle, and we want it facing this way. Now, interesting point, I did find out after doing this, you can pop these out and actually turn them around, but I'm just going to keep it the way they are. So once again, trying to make sure everything's all nice and straightened up. Slide that all in there. Thankfully, he doesn't have the same problem the Brawl's got when it comes to finding places to put your hands. So there is Swindle in his robot mode. Oh, robot mode. His alt mode, combined, whatever you want to call it. He's combined. All right. Now, I'm trying to think. Now, I know Brawl's was harder, and I'm going to try doing this the best I can. But basically, these have got to hook in here and the back of here. But I'm trying to think if Swindle's needed assistance with it. So I'm going to use my wonky ratchets. And that does stretch out. So I'm going to try putting it in here first. Slide. And clip in. Whoop. Try to keep things where they are. All right. Whoop. All right. Nope, haven't quite got it in. Swindle's sort of being a bit floppy on me. All right, so Brawl's is a little bit better, except you do have to unplug his arms because you have those two notches on either side and same dealios. So try to get that ratchet where I want it. And it also has the slider. So slide it over and around. And then you can tab his arms back where they're supposed to be. We can stand them up a bit now. There we go. It is very, very secure once everything's tabbed in. It's just a little bit awkward doing it in front of the camera. All right. So everything is now where it's supposed to be. Oh, I didn't show off how the knees work. All right, I will try this. I was going to do the knee movement first before I put these guys on, but obviously I didn't. So I'm going to try doing with Brawl because Brawl's a little bit more secure. So double knee joint here. Oh, trying to figure out somewhere to grab him. Get you all the way up there, which I would not suggest. Also, you have this piston. Make sure it's pointing inwards because if it's outwards, you're going to pop it out. So just be careful with that. But honestly, I wouldn't use the knee bend to save your life. Not because it's terrible, but because I wouldn't trust that all this weight wouldn't pop off. Get that one out a little bit because I think my other arms, there we go. Gotcha. Not quite where I want it. All right. So they're not coming off, but don't go stupid and shake and shit everywhere. Otherwise, it will fall apart. All right. Let's do Blast Off and Vortex. Now, I'm going to do these before I actually attach them to make this a little bit easier. So I have loosened this a little bit, but basically you have that far out. So imagine that's the shoulder. So that's as far as blast off will go. You have knee elbow bend that gets you that far, so about 90 degrees. You do have upper and lower, but really that's your lower bicep / elbow swivel. You have your wrist, you have your articulated fingers and whatnot. All right, I'm gonna need to give myself a little bit of room and a little bit of a raise because this gets tall. Make sure everything's held in place. So you have these two pieces here, that's where your arms attach. So you flip it back and you have the light on. You have this groove. Make sure this is like this. You want the groove going around, and that's going to slip into it, and then it's going to come back over and peg. That peg is not very strong, so if you try to articulate it, you're going to have to hold the shoulder so it doesn't pop out. All right, so while I'm standing, all right, vortex, that far, so about yay. I think I've got that the right way around. You have your elbow bend that kind of gets in the way of things, so you have to move a few things. So you definitely get 90 degrees. Same rotation there, so your lower bicep rotation. I couldn't get that to lock, so there we go. You have your wrist joint here, but these are getting in the way, so I think I might have supposed to have got that under the wrist, but yeah, it is what it is. Also, blast off does this too, but you do have inward hand. So, and same thing on this side, you flip this back, slide that in there, slide. Really? Why aren't you sliding in? There we go. And clip that over, and we can do one pop out. Now you notice he's starting to be unbalanced. So that's where we can use that joint, and we'll push him forward a little bit. Now he does have a ratchet. Once again, I was going to do this before I did this, but one ratchet that way. Whether you want to use that, it's up to you. I'd rather not. Oop. I push his legs as far back as they'll go. Right, we're almost done. We're going to rotate him around. Best to grab him by the junk and come around here. Oop. Oh, I just unpegged brawl. Oop. Probably because I just turned him around. Anyway, so we have these pegs here. We're better off in a second because that starts me tracks it. Oh, really? All right, I'm going to do this to give us a bit of balance. The arms are heavy, so it does do wonders. Of course, don't you dare go in. Oh, my tracks are all a mess. Oh, god dang it. I'll fix my tracks afterwards. All right, so we take this and we split. You can leave that together. I prefer the actual cannon parts further out. So we do want to extend this. That can stay the way it is. And then we have these two pegs, or these two ports, I should say. And you just plug them in. when they don't want to move on you. There we go. Oh, there is a waist swivel. It's ratcheted, so I'm going real well with this video, but I'm already part of the way through. I am not starting this again. So that can go on there. Then we can bring it back around. Whoop. And things are starting to slightly unpeg. Work that balance back out again. Where are you? I'm going to fold his legs out to give him a bit more stability. Oh, come on. I think my legs are slightly bent, but that's all right. All right, we have our head. Now this, I had to find the batteries that worked in it. Thankfully, I had two inside of Grimlock's, two inside Grimlock's sword, and I end up just having to buy another one. That will just go on top there, like so. I will move the camera a little bit. Actually, I'll just pull it back, like so. Actually, I'm probably going to do it a bit more anyway, because he is big. I've shut him off a couple of times. So there is Bruticus, and he does have lights and sounds. They do take, where did I put it? These batteries, so the same ones. They're SR920s, SWs. I will show you something in a moment because I know I'm going to need it. He also comes with his gun, which God knows how easy this is going to be. Whoop, I didn't even notice that back end comes off. There we go. Whoop. It's just tab in the palm, just like a normal masterpiece. Good God. It could be my busted hips that are partly doing it too. I'm not 100% sure. Just seeing if the ratchet's back where it's supposed to be. So it's just a matter of balancing. There we go. So there we are. So there's Bruticus all combined. All right. So like I said, we do have audio clips, which admittedly are from the G1 show. So which is a weird start because that kind of negates Swindle's thing. But yeah. Now, I don't know if he says another one. Oh, he does. Now, I think it's probably my hips that are throwing my balance off a little bit. Once again, you can fiddle with the pieces if you really, really, really want. I'm just looking at it right now, just from different angles. All right, so I'm going to move my chair because I don't want to move him too much. Because moving him a lot is going to cause me more trouble than anything else. So let's get some size comparisons. Here he is with Make Toys Meteor, the Starscream. And I just realized I forgot to put something back. Apart from Brawl's tracks, I've got Vortex's wing. Here he is with MP10. So very, very tiny. Bring it back a little bit more. So he's just above Bruticus's knees. All right, I don't know how this one's going to go. Here he is with I think I'll jump cut that. There he is with Combiner Wars Devastator and Titan's Return Fort Max. I have repositioned Brawl a bit further back to add a bit more stability, and so far so good. But I'm definitely jump cutting this next one because by God. There he is with Zeta Toys Superion and Moon Studios Raiden, who basically Moon Studio is the renamed version of Zeta. So they're all made by the same company. Alright, let's get down to the finals. So this is future Daethstro, and I realized I missed one bit of articulation. So I'm cutting this in just before the end of the video. So I never went over his head articulation. So he has obviously a round nubbin for a neck. So obviously it can turn full 360. It can look up that far and can look down that far. So pretty decent look down. So, but yeah, I literally started editing things and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even do the head articulation. So there we go. All done. All right, let's continue because I'm not quite done yet. I'm close, but not quite. I still have to put Brawl's tracks back. But you do get, obviously, your boxes. Now, I don't normally go into boxes because that's barely careable. But at least when Zeta was Zeta and not Moon Studio, because the Raiden didn't do it, you can turn them around and you can rearrange them. So there is Brawl. There is Swindle. Next we need Onslaught. There's Onslaught. And I'm going to have to pull back again. Oh, God. Guess as I sat back down. There is Onslaught. Here is Vortex. And here is Blast Off. So you actually get a massive, I can't remember what they used to be called, what they're called, where you have basically a massive image. So you actually get to see, as you go, parts of it in the background. There's no parts, shots, it's just combined. Now I'm going to leave it there for the moment, just for the sake of having a background, so it hopefully doesn't mess with my focus. So I come down here a bit, because we want to bring Bruticus' head back in. And this is something I need to show you just in case you do manage to ever get this guy. And honestly, I wouldn't ever position him in that pose. So we have Bruticus' head, and here is the battery port. Now if I pop that open, you'll know something rather bizarre in there. So I have 3 of those screws I told you about, and a piece of aluminum foil. So something I've discovered from rusted springs and whatnot in electronics is that you can use aluminum foil to conduct the energy through here and through the other side. Now, for some reason, my right side has a short spring. I don't know if it was intended that way, but it's always been like that. So to get these batteries to line up with the rest of the electronics, I've had to put aluminum foil in there. So if you do ever manage to get this guy, I don't know why his horns are springs. If you ever do manage to get this guy and it does not reach, put a little bit of aluminum foil in there, and that'll work for whatever. So, Bruticus. So there we go. So that will get that working. So it is 3 AG6s, whatever the other ones are all. But yeah, it will not fit. At least with mine, it didn't fit. So I've had to put aluminum foil in there. So there we go. And we'll just put that back on. I'm not bringing him back in. I've already partially transported him back into my room. So there we go. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment. I do check my analytics, and a lot of you are not subscribed, so make sure you do. But apart from that, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.